Questions I'd ask myself if I was a good performer but not being promoted within the organization. Don't know you, your industry, your managers, or anything, so these are just where I get started. Feel free to give me more context in the comments. I'm Dr. Anna Kalschmidt. I'm an industrial organizational psychologist, and I research the unwritten rules of work for the working class, neurodivergence, and intersections of race and gender. I've also been a manager in public and private sector. To ease your mind or know if you're in a serious situation, I'd first ask myself, are there subtle cues that my manager is pulling away from me? You've been rated well in performance, so this probably isn't the case, but keep an eye out for, are they suddenly meeting with you more or not at all? That could be a sign they have performance concerns. That's not your ratings, so it would be inconsistent, but companies can be inconsistent. Are they starting to email you after every call? That's a tactic to summarize the meetings and create a paper trail for HR. I actually encourage a lot of people to do this with their manager instead of waiting for that to happen for positive, not just negative reasons, for things like seeking clarity and always having the paper trail that you did what they asked you to do. 2, have you been clear that you're interested in moving up? I know that seems like an obvious, and why would you work at a company without wanting to move up? But a lot of people do. A lot of people are very happy where they are. I would frame it as a positive conversation with your manager, not, I can't believe you haven't promoted me. I'm getting good performance reviews. But with, hey, I am wondering what you think I need to do to get to the next level because I want to be as successful as you. Yes, there's always ass kissing involved. It's annoying. 3, I'd look at who's been promoted and why. What are they doing that you're not? Informally and formally. Work politics don't always mean nepotism, though they certainly include it. Have they made themselves more visible in some ways? Have they articulated they want to be leaders in some ways? And yeah, there are always biases that come in here on who gets perceived as a leader and who gets perceived as the birthday organizer. So especially look at people who seem to have similar identities to you. If you're a woman, look for another woman, etc. But still receive feedback from people who are different than you. Start asking them, how did you get to your level? People love talking about themselves because many companies have informal hierarchies. And I talk about this in a chapter in my book. It's coming out later this year. My mailing list is in my bio for updates about that. Informal hierarchies can be important in getting anything in an organization. So even if what's on the org chart, you're already on good terms with those people, find out who they're really talking to when they're making decisions. And 4, and this is the mistake I've made so many times, ask yourself if you've taken on more work for free in your company history. This is especially prevalent among women, especially women of color. If so, and you've done it, you might have been like me in that you were hoping that would mean this was a test before you get promoted, because they always tell you, you have to do the job before you get it, right? But the honest truth is now you're too expensive to promote, if that's the case. They're getting a manager without paying for one. And if that's the case, you might need to take an HR lingo approach here and talk about things the company's going to care about, not just your feelings, not just your individual experience, though both are extremely valid. Have an in-person conversation with your manager about your concerns about pay equity based on your role, improve what you're doing and how it's outside of your job description. And then you need to follow up that conversation with an email in writing nicely. Hi, I just want to summarize since this conversation was very important, because once it's a paper trail, then HR has to look at it. It's riskier, but also often necessary in these cases. It's not a great economic time to be very forward. So be careful and decide what's right for you. What I have realized is eventually I felt like I had no other option.